Now I'm curious what this is because it's from Gamestop. Unless this is a double. And if this is a double of what I hope... Oh, I think this is a double. And if this is a double of what I think... No, it's not. Okay. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. This week is going to be a little more low-key. I might do a little game hunting towards the end of the week, but it's mostly going to be some online packages. I scored some good stuff. So I actually got 2 packages today and I should be receiving at least one more before the end of the week. It's going to have some good stuff in it, but wanted to go over these real first. So the first one I picked up, now this is a game that I actually already have, but I didn't have this version. On top of it, this version includes an extra expansion DLC, which I'm pretty sure is more expensive than what I basically paid for this game. It's brand new, it looks great, and it's got some extra stuff in it too. And it was really cheap on Amazon, so I figured I'd grab it. We have Greedfall, the Gold Edition, on the Xbox Series X. So, currently I have the base version of Greedfall, but now I have the Gold Edition sealed in this nice box with all this extra stuff. It's like 11 bucks on Amazon. I saw that, and I'm like, you know what, that's too good of a deal not to take it, especially because I can trade in my base copy for like $5.50 at GameStop. So I basically paid $5 for this, give or take. Definitely going to take that every time, so glad to add that to the collection. And then the more exciting one to me. Several weeks ago, I placed an order on a website I've never used before. But I knew of its existence, and as a physical game collector, I knew at some point I would have to do it. And I found 2 games that I wanted to get, but in the United States, they're not available in physical form. These are both digital-only releases in the US, but in Japan or in Europe, they have physical releases. So I made my first purchase from PlayAsia, which is a website that allows you to import games from Europe or Japan and send them to the US. Now what's cool about this site is, in addition to the fact that you can get games that would normally not come out in physical form in the US, but there's not really a reason not to do this, because if you really want a physical copy, pretty much every console of the current consoles are region free. So the Switch, the Xbox Series, and the PS5 are all region free consoles. So it doesn't matter if your game came from the US, Japan, or Europe, you can play it. So I picked out a couple Switch games that did not get physical releases in the US that I wanted to add to my collection. Before, I want to show you my cool swag that I got from PlayAsia. So we get this cool sticker. That's neat. And Anime Girl, because Asia makes sense. But yeah, picked up 2 games. Now both of these are from actually different regions. The first one is from Japan. The second one is from Europe. Both are English releases though, which makes the first one not coming out in physical form in the US just that more baffling to me. But this is an English release game. It just didn't get a physical release in the US. No idea why. We have Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition on the Switch. So this game, it's a remake of a PlayStation 1 RPG. It got re-released on every console, but it did not get a physical release in the US. As you can see, there's no NTSC logo because this is not an NTSC release. It is a Japanese release, but it's in English. So everything about the game's in English. And it's on a chip, but didn't release in the US. I don't know why. But yeah, pretty happy to add that to the collection. I've wanted to play Chrono Cross. I've heard mixed things about the Radical Dreamers edition. Some people say it's not a very good version, but I figured, you know what? I'd like to have a physical copy, and I think the Switch is the proper console to play that on. It's kind of becoming my JRPG machine, although the PS4 is also good for that, but lately I've been getting a lot of JRPGs on Switch. And then the other one, which is a European release, which again, I don't know why it didn't get a physical release in the US, but we got a European one. We have Clanoa, the Fantasy Reverie series on the Switch. So this includes Clanoa 1 and 2, remastered in one package. And again, it's entirely in English. So I will understand everything that's happening in this game. Didn't get released in the US in a physical release, just digital. No idea why, but I wanted to add this to the collection because I've heard good things about the Clanoa series. And now I have both of them in the US. So a couple interesting things. So this game, this is Chrono Cross, by the way. If you look at the spine, it looks pretty much the same as all of the US release Switch games. Clanoa is different because it's centered. I think that's a thing for European Switch releases, which is going to kind of throw off all the OCD folks, although I have some Switch games that are not in their original cases, so that's going to be kind of messy. But yeah, it's not centered, so that's kind of an interesting little tidbit. So yeah, I imported my first 2 games from Play Asia as I dropped one of them onto the ground. So we got Chrono Cross and Clanoa. Glad to add both of these games to my Switch collection. And, you know, picked up Greedfall Gold Edition on the Xbox for good measure for cheap. So yeah, now we're going to get to my next package where I've got some even more interesting goodies coming from Gamestop. Another day, another opening of a package. I actually already opened this package, but I did get another game from Gamestop. And this one I picked up mostly because I was curious, but it also seems to be getting pretty good reviews. So I figured, you know what, might as well see what's about. Now, if you did not grow up in the 90s, you might not remember that there was an epic rivalry between Pokemon and Digimon. And although it seems like mostly today Digimon has kind of fallen by the wayside, not entirely. And in fact, a new Digimon game just came out on modern platforms, and I'm pretty interested in it. We have Digimon Survive on the Xbox One. So this is apparently a visual novel mixed with a tactics style game. Sounds very interesting. It also is like a darker storyline for Digimon. I always thought growing up that Digimon, the anime, had a much better story than Pokemon did. So I liked the actual TV show better for Digimon than Pokemon. Although obviously the games, the card game, are better in Pokemon. So I'm actually really interested to see this. I haven't played the Digimon game yet, so this is probably going to be the first one I play. But I'm pretty excited to see how it turns out. So Digimon Survive, Xbox One, get another addition to the collection. So I'm not going to bring out the game hunt cam this week because this is going to be kind of a smaller game hunting sesh, but let's kick things off at La Familia. I've scored here the last few weeks, so let's see if I can score here again. Let's go. All right, so I did okay. I looked at a few games that were worth, you know, $6, $7 in trade-in each. They wanted like 10 for each of them, so those were all passes. They had some kind of back-to-school sale where they're advertising up to 30% off if you got more items. So I picked up a 4-pack to hopefully get a 30% discount, and that's not how that worked apparently. But I did notice, and I don't know if I missed this before, but a game that is pretty new that I did not have a physical copy of. It's not in the greatest shape, but you know, for the price I paid, I think it's okay. Halo Infinite on the Xbox Series X. So it doesn't have the original case, it's like a GameStop case, but it has the cover art, and the game's in good shape. So I figured, you know what? I wanted to add a physical copy of Halo Infinite to my collection anyway, so might as well get it if I can get it for, you know, I think I paid like $13, so not too bad at all. So yeah, ended up getting Halo Infinite for fairly cheap. Now let's go check out some more pawn shops, see what else I can find. It has been a minute, but I figured it's time to check in on Simple Pawn, see if they've gotten anything new and if their prices have gotten any better. I'm not holding my breath, but you never know. Let's go take a look. Yeah, nothing in there for me. They did have games, and they had a decent amount of them. some decent titles, but the problem was they were all priced at about 10 bucks. And I know usually if I negotiate, I can get them down a couple bucks or so, but even with the typical negotiating, there's no way it would have been worth it. So I passed. It's a shame, man. I used to love this place. I used to come here all the time and get some amazing deals on games, and now they're just too high. Oh well, it's a shame. The last several times I've been to Cash America, I scored pretty big. Will that streak continue? Let's find out. Well, that was an interesting stop because we didn't get a whole lot of quantity, but we got some really good quality stuff to pick up. So I originally picked up 3 Wii games as well. I had to put one back because they asked originally for 10 bucks a piece, which one of them just was not worth it since I wasn't planning on keeping it. I ended up keeping 2 Wii games. I also got a fun thing that is going to be very helpful, and I put $10 down on a white PlayStation Vita that was in very good shape. So I'm probably going to pick that up next week. But I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. I think the last Vita I picked up was way more expensive than that and not as good condition. So this one should be a pretty nice score. But yeah, white PS Vita for 100 bucks. Not bad at all. But here's what I did pick up, and I'm pretty happy with all 3 of these pickups. First up, Mario Kart Wii on the Wii. $8 is a little steep for most Wii games. That one trades in at Gamestop for $12. So even at $8, it's worth picking up to trade in. So I was pretty happy with that. Next, I have this one, which I'm going to add to the collection because it's complete and in really good shape. Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. Again, $8 is more than what I normally like to pay, but they did hook me up with a little bit of a discount, and it's a game I wanted to add to my collection, so I think it was worth the pickup. Here's the other big thing, and this one, I picked it up because I saw they had an Xbox 360 in the back that had one of these on it. And I mentioned, hey, I just bought a 360 from y'all. It needs one of these. Can I buy that? And the answer was yes, and I paid 10 bucks, which is a steal considering how much I've seen these go for on eBay. The Xbox 360 wireless adapter. So now I can hook this up to my Xbox 360 Elite. It also matches, which is great. And I'll be able to play that bad boy online. So very, very happy. I think I did very well in there. I got the Vita, and I got an interesting lead, which I'm probably going to take advantage of. And that is they had a couple NESs that were supposedly broken in the back. They only wanted 20 bucks a piece for them. Now, I came with a jumble of cords and stuff, including a zapper. The main thing is I need AV cable for my NES. So it might be worth it, honestly, to grab one of those, probably the one that's working better, or at least the one I think works better. Take the AV adapter from it and probably the zapper, and then see what I can do with the other one. But yeah, I might grab another NES maybe next week. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 2 excellent Wii games, an Xbox 360 adapter, and I put a really nice quality PS Vita on layaway. Can't be happier. So now we're going to go to another pawn shop, and this one, I haven't been to it a very long time because they are usually rip-off. We'll see if that changes today. I never go to this pawn shop anymore because they always overprice their games. It's been so long, maybe things have changed, or maybe they have something that's actually worth picking up. Let's go in and find out. All right, so every now and again, they do come through. And this time I actually ended up picking up some games from Queen of Pawns. Surprise, surprise. This time I picked up 3 games, and the main reason why is because they were all pretty well priced. 1 I picked up to flip, and 2 I picked up to add to the collection. So the first one I got is Rise of Nightmares on the 360. It's not in a great case, but I have plenty of replacement Connect cases at home, because this is a Connect-only game. It was $1. I'm like, I'm not going to say no to a $1 360 Connect game, especially one that's kind of uncommon, so why not? It's worth grabbing. Next, and this is a game where the last time I was here, they asked for like 15 bucks for it. this time they actually honored the price that was written on the case, which is why I picked it up. We have Jagged Alliance Rage on the Xbox One. You can see it has $5 written on it, and that's the price I paid. So I will gladly take an Xbox One game that looks interesting for $5. And then the last one, and this one I was a little bit on the fence with because it's more than I would like to pay, but right now Gamestop is taking it in trade-in for like $12 plus, so I can make a profit immediately. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on the PS4. Anytime I find that game for under $10, I'm more than likely going to grab it. So it was 10, so borderline, I'm only going to make a couple bucks on it, but still, it's a couple bucks that I can make towards something at GameStop. So yeah, not bad. And hey, I broke the ice at Queen of Pawns. I was able to get a few games to add to the collection and one more to flip to GameStop. Not too bad. I got one more pawn shop in me, and then we're going to go to GameStop, trade in some stuff, see what we come away with. Last pawn shop is Value Pawn. I rarely ever pick anything up here, but every now and again they've got something decent, so maybe something's changed. Let's find out. So that was an interesting trip on two counts. First off, they actually had a game that was worth picking up. And that was, they had a copy of Sims 4 plus the Island Living expansion. Now the expansion doesn't matter because that game trades in for $12 at GameStop. The problem was they wanted $12. And yeah, that's not worth it on my end. So I tried to get them down to 8. They were just like, nah, we're good. So I left it. And that's the thing, when you do pawn shop game hunting, and I know I've said this a few times, but don't be afraid to say no. If they won't give you a discount or they won't work with you in terms of price, let them hold on to it. It'll probably sit there for another few weeks and they'll regret not giving you that deal. So that's the way to go. But yeah, that happened. But the other fun thing was I actually met a viewer of the channel who apparently lives around this area. He was wondering when he would run into me, and he did. So shout out to you. I didn't get your name, but shout out to you if you're watching this video. But yeah, that's it for game hunting. Picked up some decent stuff, not a ton, but that's okay. So now I'm gonna head over to GameStop, try to trade in some stuff and see what I can get with my credit. Last stop is GameStop. Gonna trade in some games, maybe come away with some more stuff. See what we do. All right, as you can see, I'm very hot. It's very sweaty. But I finally finished up a GameStop and I did pick up one game. So I ended up getting about $33 in credit, which is pretty solid to be honest. I used that $33 to pre-order some games. So I ended up pre-ordering Made in Abyss, the Collector's Edition, Marvel Midnight Suns, and the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Double Pack. I also picked up some more Pokemon cards, which of course I did, but you'll see those on my main channel. And I picked up one game, and the main reason why I picked this game up is, first of all, it looks interesting. It's a JRPG. I've only seen it once, and it stayed somewhat expensive the whole time, so I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and grab it and try it out. And that is Akiba's Beat on the PS4. I already have Akiba's Trip. I don't know if this is the same series or not. It might be. But it was $20, and essentially it was less than that because I paid credit for it. So I'll take it. Nice addition to the collection. It's a game I've been eyeing for a while, just wasn't sure when I would grab it. So I figured, well, since I've got credit, might as well grab it then. So yeah, that's what I got. I'm pretty happy with everything. So let's head back to my room because I do have one more thing to open up, and that is a condition report. All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen. I have gotten back from a long game hunting trip. You can see I'm still nice and sweaty. It's time to wrap up this video with the condition report. Okay, so essentially what's happening is I did another deal at GameStop.com where I picked out 4 games that were priced $10 or less for $20. And I was a little concerned because originally when I checked the mail, because it said it was delivered, all I got was this envelope, which just by feeling around, I can tell only has one game in it. So that immediately concerned me. But then I came home and I also discovered I had a box. So I feel a lot better. So we're gonna open the box first just to see what is in here. And I've not taken a look at these, so we'll see what the condition is. Hopefully we got some complete games. They have cases, that's a good sign. First game up. Not complete. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U. It is a GameStop case. There's the disc. Let's check the disc. Disc is great, but generic GameStop case, so we're definitely 0 for 1 when it comes to complete games. Let's check the second game. This one is complete. Hey, very nice. We have Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. Now, I did have this game. I also had Tropical Freeze, ironically enough, on the Switch, but I can get both of these games on the Wii U for $5, so why would I not do that? Just saying. I'll probably get the Switch ones again eventually, but for $5, why am I not going to get the Wii U ones back? So there's 2 of the 4. There's 4 games in here, so what is that other package? I don't even know. Let's find out though. So next, hey, this one's complete. Like, really complete. Interesting. We have Family Game Night 2 on the Wii. Very complete copy. It's got a bunch of classic board games like Bop It, Connect 4, Operation Jenga, and Picturia. It just looked interesting. It was a Wii game that was priced at $10. I'm like, you know, might as well grab it. And then the 4th game, also complete. So we did pretty well. This one's in really good shape too. I guess people take care of their family game night games. A little surprised. So I also got Family Game Night 4 on the Xbox 360. This one is styled more like a game show. It comes with Sorry Sliders, Bop It, Connect 4 Basketball, Scrabble Flash, Yahtzee Bowling. So I wanted to get this on the Wii, but they were sold out. So I'm like, you know, I'll get it on the 360. Okay, so these were the 4 games I ordered, and I got them all. Now I'm curious what this is, because it's from GameStop, I believe, unless this is a double. And if this is double of what I hope, oh, I think this is a double. And if this is a double of what I think, no, it's not. Okay, well, that's fun. All right. I got Digimon Survive on the Switch. Now, what's interesting about this, I didn't order Digimon Survive on the Switch. I ordered it on the Xbox, but they gave me it on the Switch. Huh, very interesting. What's interesting about this for me, this is basically going to be free money because I already have this game. So I'm actually going to return this to GameStop for what I paid for and get basically $55 back, which is pretty great, especially because I already have it. Very interesting. Very interesting. I did not expect to get a second copy of Digimon Survive, especially on a different platform? Huh. Well, thanks, GameStop. I did already get my Digimon Survive on the Xbox One, which is the copy that I ordered, so damn, I guess. Worst comes to worst, if for some reason they won't let me return it, I will trade it in, because again, it's free money. I didn't pay for it. So there's that. Anyway, now that we've done our condition report of all these various packages, let's go ahead and do a recap of all the games that we picked up this week. Alright, we are back, and it's time to go over everything that we picked up over this past week. And I have to say, this has been pretty crazy week. We picked up a lot of stuff, and it was a good time. So we're going to start off with our 2 kind of headliner games, and those are the 2 that I imported from Play Asia. So we're going to start off with Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition on the Switch. This game is only available digitally in the US, so I had to import a copy from Japan. However, this is the English release of it, so there's no reason why this game wasn't released in the US in physical form, but I had to import it, so there you go. Anyway, on this one I paid $41 and it's actually worth $54, so this one actually has a pretty solid value. The other one that I imported is Clanoa, the Fantasy Reverie series on the Switch. This is the European version, because again, digital only in the US, did not receive a physical release, so I imported the European version, which works on my Switch and is in English, so it works out. This one I paid $48 and it is worth $45, so a little bit of a loss, but you know what? For 2 Switch games I was already interested in, I'm totally down. Next, we're going to go to Amazon, where I picked up essentially a game that I already owned, but this is a better version of it, and it includes DLC, which I didn't own, for a very cheap price. So I figured, you know what, it was worth the pickup. As Greedfall, the Gold Edition on the Xbox Series X, includes a bunch of extra stuff, as well as the full game for the Xbox Series X, and the DLC expansion. So I'm like, you know what, might as well go for it. It was only like $11 on Amazon. $11, and it's actually worth $26, so this has some good value. I barely paid anything for it, so thanks, Amazon. Appreciate it. Now, we're going to go to my pawn shop pickups from this past week, because we picked up some pretty decent games. And I'm pretty happy to add all these to the collection. I obviously traded in some of them, but I was able to score a few new games to add to the collection. So we're going to start off with Halo Infinite on the Xbox Series X. As you can see, I did replace the case. It is now an official Xbox case. It's not a... It doesn't properly fit. As you can see, it's an Xbox One case, but it's closer than it was. I only paid $13 for a copy of Halo Infinite, and it's still going for $28, so I will take it. I wanted a physical copy of Halo Infinite, and now I got one for very low price. Always a good choice. Next, I went to Cash America, where I picked up a couple things. I traded in one game already, but I did keep one, and I think it's a solid pickup. That is Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. Never played this game. I've heard very good things. It is the Return of the Donkey Kong series made by Retro Studios, the same team who made Metroid Prime. It's in very good shape, so I figured I would grab it. I paid $8 for this, and it is worth $12, so not a huge bump of a value, but there's something there. In addition, I also picked up this wireless Xbox 360 adapter. When I bought my Elite Xbox 360, I didn't discover until later that I needed one of these in order to use the Wi-Fi network, and now I have one. Thankfully, Cash America happened to have another 360 that had this bad boy attached to it, so I asked, hey, could I just buy that? And they said yes. I paid $10 for this, which was a great price, because normally this goes for about $23. And actually, most places I looked online is more than that. So $10 for this thing, terrific value. Next, we went to Queen of Pawns, which oddly enough, we actually scored a Queen of Pawns. Didn't think that would happen, but it did. I kept 2 of the games. I traded in one of them. First one I kept, and again, I transitioned it to a better case, is Rise of Nightmares on the Xbox 360. Notice now it is in an actual Kinect case, because I had extra Kinect cases. I also unsquished the manual, so it's in much better shape now. I paid $1 for this, and it's actually worth $6. So again, not a huge pickup, but hey, for $1, can't go wrong. I also got Jagged Alliance Rage on the Xbox One. The last time I tried to buy this game at Queen of Pawns, they wanted like $15 for it, which was ridiculous. This time they actually honored what they wrote on the cover, which was $5. So I took it for $5. It is actually worth $8. So it's not worth a ton, but you know what? That's okay. Now we go to GameStop, and GameStop was fun because I picked up a couple physical games and I did a couple online orders. Actually, one online order, and that turned out interestingly. So the game that I picked up in store with my trading credit was Akiba's Beat on the PS4. It looks like a JRPG mixed with kind of a rhythm game. It looks very interesting. It's not a game you see very often, so I figured I would grab it. Paid $20 in credit for this, and it is actually worth $16. So it's not worth a ton. That's okay. I still think it was worth the pickup. Next, we got my order that I made online at GameStop, and this was a 4 for $20 deal, and then I picked up an extra game. So the first game I picked up, which is sadly not complete, is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii, generic Gamestop case, but it's actually the only one that did not come in its original case. Paid $5, and this game is worth $9, even in this condition. Next up, we have Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. Another game that I owned at one point. I had the Switch version, but I had to sell it because of my financial situation. And I decided, you know what, rather than spending, $50, $60 on another copy of this for the Switch, I could just buy the Wii U copy for $5. So I paid $5 and this is worth $11. Next up, we have Family Game Night 2 on the Wii. It's a party game. It's got a bunch of board games that are remixed for the Wii. Looks fun. It's in great shape. Paid $5. This one is worth $7. To wrap up game nights, we also have Family Game Night 4 on the Xbox 360. This one's styled more like a game show. Figured it would be a pretty nice, fun addition to the collection. Paid $5. It is worth $9. And then we're going to end with the fun situation. So, in addition to those 4 games, I also decided I wanted to grab a fairly new release game that came out like a week or 2 ago. That is Digimon Survive on the Xbox One. I've never really played a Digimon game, and I've heard really good things about this one. It apparently is pretty interesting, so I figured I would grab a copy on the Xbox One. I used my $5 coupon for the month, so I ended up paying $55 for this, and because it's a new release game, it's worth $60. But apparently, something got messed up with GameStop shipping system because I ordered an Xbox One copy. I was also sent a Nintendo Switch copy today. So this is a free copy of Digimon Survive on the Switch. I did not pay for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to return this. Meaning, this game is essentially free. I'm going to get my money back by returning this copy of Digimon Survive. So, hey, that's a win. So yep, I'll be returning this to GameStop probably later in the week, get my money back, and that is a way to wrap up. Pretty interesting week of game hunting. We did some pawn shops, did a bunch of online orders, we visited some internet shops that we don't normally visit. We got some solid stuff. Plus, next week's going to be fun because I'm also going to be picking up PlayStation Vita that I found at Cash America. So, good stuff. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, that way you know when new videos drop. And I will see you on the next episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Bye-bye.